All right, hello, I'm Tristan Miller, and this is the exam 2 retrial presentation. So problem A was where we had to enter in we had to provide a number of points, enter the points, the x and y value of each point, and then calculate the distance from the origin. Then we had to sort that from largest to smallest and compare that to the average. So you have the demo shot there. Naturally, the code kind of flows from each prompt to each display. My biggest issues were with naturally we were putting in a certain number of points. Sorry, I'm gonna stop switching between each slide. That's kind of visually jarring. So you're giving a certain number of points, but each point represents 2 coordinates, right? So I'm doing hand signals, but they're out of frame. Or hand gestures. But what I realized was that the compiler kind of just took it with one array and it all worked out. I ran it, and not gonna lie, just using the PowerPoint's kind of frustrating. I wish I could reference the code itself. If I could just swap real quick. It turned out I could just use the same array and just still ask x and y value, and it bounced back and forth very conveniently, which I wish it would do that in all of my scripts, because I'm not going to lie, it usually doesn't work out that well. Yeah, setting an array to, sorry, after doing the project in this, I'm a little scatterbrained, but because the we're having to in order to avoid having to type the same code, the same line of code 20 times basically for each, literally 20 times, once for every coordinate for 10 total points. So just setting the distance as a array basically that functions off of n. Well, naturally it functions off of both n and I in their complementary ways, as I is the counter. But yeah, then you just set the array. You're basically just using arrays instead of variables when you set it up. You got distance is equal to the distance formula, square root of yada yada plus, array of I times like the square. So that, yeah. Not my most well-worded explanation, but I think you get the gist. And then, yeah, from there it was pretty easy. I mean, you basically just set everything up from the way we've been doing it since the beginning. Just calculate, with variance, with distance, I'm getting ahead of myself. You just calculate average, which is super easy. Just float, bam, just a single slash and you're good. And utilizing previous assignments, it was pretty easy to just match integers up, variables would be the better word. And yeah, get everything to sort itself out. So that was pretty much just kind of a reapplication of past scripts. And yeah. And then crap, I spent 4 minutes all on A. But B was significantly easier because you're entering one element and it's representing one element with the array. So it's no convenient / convoluted 1-to-2 ratio going on with the x and y values. Yeah, I was trying to list out all the values for variance because it's like you're summing up, you're finding a sum, but then you can just using an array similar to how distance was figured out in A. It all worked out, and then once again sort from large to small. And when I say assign inequalities, I mean like you're setting up the You're setting up the statements that go, this is larger than that or this is less than that, aka inequalities. So Yeah, I think that pretty much summarizes it. I kind of wanted to look at B real quick. I think yeah, after figuring out how to calculate variance, I mean, standard deviation is just literally using square root, and average is even easier than that. Was able to do that before variance, so bada boom. All right, onto the pseudocodes.